Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you all are keeping well. My name is Dimpy and on this channel I share detailed watercolor tutorials on every Saturday. In today's tutorial I will show you how to paint these two lovely cards which my daughter requested me to make for her very close friends' birthdays. The color theme as well as the subjects were my daughter's idea. I thoroughly enjoyed painting these cute and simple cards and I can assure you that you can paint these too. So let's get started. I've got two A5 size cards. We're going to be using a size 6 Taylor and Rowney brush and a gel pen with waterproof ink. So I'm just taping my card down just on two edges, should be fine so it doesn't move. And I'm going to start by drawing a quick sketch. So the first one is a mushroom house, so you can just follow along with me if you're trying to paint this as well. And you can see the sketch is really simple, just like an inverted C cap and then like two parallel lines, and then at the bottom we'd be drawing some steps to approach the mushroom house. Don't need to be very precise, they're just going to be a loose type of painting. And I'm just drawing some circles on the mushroom head. We're just going to leave it white and paint around those. Okay, so I've got two windows and a door as well now. So I've got a gel pen and the ink is waterproof, but you need to make sure that it's completely dry before you start painting or the color might just bleed into the water. Okay, I'm just doing a rough outline of a sketch that we prepared earlier. We're just going over it. Okay, now we can start painting. Now for the painting the mushroom head, I'll be using Alizarin Crimson Hue, and I'm just taking some color on my brush and I'm just painting wet on dry paper. So we are not wetting this paper because this is not a watercolor paper. It's easily available. It's just simple cardstock, just the paper is slightly thick, and then I'm just taking a little bit of water, just spreading the color out, making sure I don't go over the white circles that I had sketched earlier. Now my brush has a really fine tip which allows me to just go carefully around those circles and not, get the paint where I don't want to. So I've intentionally kept one side of the mushroom a bit darker to give it a bit of a 3D effect. So you can notice the right side is a bit lighter. So I added more water to the color. We're going to use a very dilute yellow ochre color for the rest of the house. And now I'm adding a bit of a darker gold ochre color at the top. And some darker color for the steps. Okay, and the background is going to be a lilac. Okay, for the background I'd be using a Dioxazine violet color, so it just diluted my paint. Again I'm painting wet on dry. It's best not to try wet and wet techniques for a paper which is not watercolor paper, otherwise you know, the paint will just flow around and not get absorbed. So just use the right amount of water and then just quickly work with it and just spread it around using your brush, adding a little bit of water. As you can see, I'm just kind of spreading the paint out before it dries out completely. If I'm not quick enough, I'll get hard edges where I don't really want them to be. So I'm just kind of covering the whole background with that light purple color. Okay, I'm gonna add in a bit darker just around the mushroom. And again, I'm spreading it out with some more water. So if you add a bit of darker color just around your subject, it stands out a bit more, and that's what we're trying to achieve here. Just adding a bit of greenery just adjacent to the steps, and I'm using sap green for that greenery. I'm also splattering some clean water on my card while the paint is still wet, and I'll just let it dry now. We'll start working on the second card now, and I'm going to follow the same process again. I've just taped it down, and this time it's going to be a pineapple house. So this time, as you can see, it's more like a inverted U shaped and curved at the edges, and I'm just making a door, and it's more like a imaginative piece. And yeah, that's the fun part about it. You don't need to be precise, you're not copying any subject as such, you just playing with those strokes, and you know, just draw a interesting shape just to hint that it's a pineapple. It's not a real pineapple as such. So again, we're drawing a few steps, and they're going to be planters just adjacent to the steps like we did earlier. I thought the pineapple needs to be looking a bit taller, so I've just corrected that. So it's more like a egg shape, just trimmed at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to do some kind of a triangular shapes at the top just to suggest some leafy top of the pineapple, which will actually make it look like a pineapple. So the ones at the top would be slightly longer, so you just fill in the gaps and make as many as you feel like, you know, just should look right to your eye. Okay, I've got my gel pen and I'm just going over the pencil sketch. And it's a good idea to erase those pencil lines once you are done with your inking. Now this style is called pen and wash, and this makes coloring so much easier because the pen actually defines the shape. This is the first time I'm posting a video on pen and wash, so if you like it, do let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to make more of these sorts. And if you have any special requests, also tell me in the comment section, because I love trying new subjects and I absolutely love painting, so I like to share my tips how I approach the subject, you know, the new subject I try. So okay, again, we are making two windows, which we missed sketching. Looks more like a face, isn't it, with two eyes and a kind of wide open mouth. So again, I'm using my this time I'm using cadmium yellow color, again a dilute consistency, and just going around the windows and the door. And I've got some burnt umber. We could just do some rough kind of more like hexagonal shapes, just kind of intertwined, just to suggest a pineapple. Again, you don't need to be very precise. I'm just going, you know, around creating those shapes, just hinting some darker tones. Okay, I'm trying to do a bit of merging now so that those lines look a bit more realistic rather than, and I've taken a little bit of yellow ochre to do that while the paint is still wet. So yeah, I'm just kind of blending it with the background with some darker areas. And we're gonna start painting the top part of the pineapple. I'm using sap green. So the only drawback here is that of using a card paper is that the paint dries out really quickly, and really you have to act a bit quickly to make sure if you're doing any sort of blending, you act quickly before the paint dries out, otherwise it won't blend very well. So here you can see I'm trying to add in some darker color to give it a bit of a 3D effect, while the layer below of sap green is still wet. I'm using a light pink color this time for the windows. Okay, I'm trying to add a bit more detail on the pineapple, but you need not, you know, you can just stop where you think it looks nice and don't go into too much detail, or sometimes you end up messing it. Okay, I'm gonna start working on the background just like we did earlier. And just take some more water, spread out the paint towards the edges. I'm still using the size 6 brush here because it's got a nice tip to it and makes it easier for me to go around the, you know, these jagged edges of the pineapple at the top. But you are free to use a bigger size brush. I'm also doing some splattering, and then I just to avoid any accidents of the splatter going onto the pineapple, I decided to put in some darker blobs of paint here and there while the underneath layer is still wet. Okay, now that the pineapple looks a bit dull after drying, I decided to just layer it with some dilute cadmium yellow to brighten it up a bit. A bit more working in the background, and I guess we're nearly there. Okay, so our card's done, and I just decided to put some paint under the tapes as well. You can also put a tab underneath if you want to really cover the whole background. I'm adding in some detail for the windows and the doors. I think I just took a little bit of orange color, and I'm going to do the same for this mushroom as well, and the color's all dried up. I've added some detail to the frame and the door and the windows. Okay, I guess I'm quite pleased with the way they turned out, and I hope you'd like to paint them as well. Some final finishing touches again. So our cards are now ready. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get notified about future videos. I hope to see you next Saturday again with another tutorial. Till then, take care. Bye.